All right, welcome back everyone to the Simple Markets channel. My name is JB. I am a little bit sick today, so sorry about my voice. But today we will be doing a recap of my full 2025. We're going to take a look at my journal, my results. We're going to talk about the strategy that we use. But also to get started off, I would love to look at the community and just give a little appreciation to the members there. So we just mentioned to a lot of the members, feel free to share your results and certificates for this year utilizing the strategy. First thing I do want to point out, we are at 64 funded members out of 155 members, which is just absolutely unreal. That is a 41% rate of getting funded for people that join the community, which I promise you guys, out of all the communities I've been in, out of all the groups I've gone through in the industry, that is by far the highest. And we're one of the only people I've found that share true metrics of their students and their actual success. It's part of the reason we charge what we do. We individually help each student get them to that goal of getting funded and payouts. But let's take a look here. So we have Simon starting off with a ridiculous amount of challenges passed this year. Now, Simon has been very open. He struggled a lot before joining the group, and he is crushing it now. Super consistent payouts, scalping them out, and passing a ton of different accounts at once. So congrats to him. Same here. We have a few challenges passed here as well. Tommy, who has been someone I've known for a long time, making absolutely ridiculous payouts with FTMO, passing a ton of different firms, and even a payout from a firm I haven't heard before of over $5,000. We have Chamden here, who you guys have probably seen in past videos. He's always killing it, but max allocation with FTMO, almost a $13,000 payout this last month in December. And of course, some other $6,000 and $2,500 payouts. We have Alex, who just recently got funded, and his payout is coming in 2026. And the same with Tish Money here, also getting funded with FTMO. And then we even have Nino here, who is a prime FTMO trader with almost $6,000 in overall payouts. And honestly, there is many, many more students with certificates on certificates. So I could not be more proud of what we built. And I do want to hop over to the strategy that we use. Most of you here know it, but in the description below, you can download this exact document. It is the swing trading plan that all of us use in that community. We all backtest and optimize it together. We have our own preferences that we build off of. And honestly, we're working at the speed of 150 people compared to yourself, who may be working and optimizing your own strategy. In the time it takes you to collect a month worth of data on your own strategy yourself, we have maybe 50 students who have gone through 10,000 to 20,000 trades of data. It is ridiculous how quickly we collect and optimize data as a team. Now we're going to briefly brush through the checklist here. You guys know we optimize by using a lot of different pairs, and that is because we trade the 4-hour time frame only. Focusing on a singular time frame makes the plan not only more simple, but it is a lot more passive as well. With this many pairs, it takes me just about 10 minutes every morning to go through each of them and see if a setup is present. And that's mainly because I don't have to do top-down analysis or anything of that nature. I simply have to pull up the 4-hour chart and see if this entry checklist is met. If not, I walk away. However, weekly, there could be anywhere from 3 to 10 trades. It really depends on your style of trading, but I simply set those orders typically on a Monday, and I kind of rotate and continue to add throughout the week and delete orders that are running without me. But the main part of the plan here is going to be that entry checklist. Now, step 1 is a higher time frame bias. We list this one as optional because honestly, you don't really have to use a higher time frame for this. I tend to look at the trend of the 4-hour time frame, see if it's bullish or bearish, and that is good enough for me. Most important part here, keep it simple, and that will lead to consistency. Number 2 is going to be a sweep on liquidity. Now, this is a concept I've talked about plenty. I have a whole video on sweeps on liquidity early on in my channel. Step 3 is just displacement, which to me just means a strong break of structure in the direction of my trade. And then I'd like to see a fair value gap because that shows us that high volume. When all of these rules are met, I simply enter on the 75% of the range using a Fibonacci tool, and that also gives me a fixed 3 RR for every trade. There is a little bit of management involved here. We tend to use a break-even rule at 1 RR, but your risk per trade can vary, of course. Now down below here is just an example set of data. This is about 2,400 trades with a 32% win rate. And as you can see, absolutely ridiculous returns per year here, over 100% in some years, doubling the account, which as we go ahead and look at my live data, you can see I actually cross that 100% as well. Now, I had some people look at this data and say there's no way with 32% win rate in 2,400 trades, you can maintain a set of data like that. Some people think that might not be enough. So for those of you that don't think that's enough, we are going to hop out here to a 6,000 trade set of data with roughly that exact same win rate of around 32%. It is absolutely insane, the equity curve here with over 6,000 trades in it. And it really does nail home what I've talked about before, which our realized win rate is roughly around that 32 to 34% level. But then if you go ahead and include break-even trades into this numerical value here of total trades, you'll actually find that the overall win rate is about 57.1% in this scenario, and I find it's a little closer to 58 to 60 on some other sets of data I've looked at. That is probably as concrete as I can get you guys, but in reality, if you ask anybody out there their win rate, they very likely do not have a significant amount of data to back that. A lot of people throw values out there all the time on YouTube, so I'm really trying to push home where I got these values and why it is so consistently profitable. So roughly a 32 to 34% realized win rate, but that doesn't mean that you're losing money on 66% of the trades. Because that break-even rule we use at 1RR, about 2,200 of those trades are saved, meaning that you don't actually lose money on them. And if you include that break-even amount into your total trade value, it means that when you enter the market with this plan, you have roughly a 57 to 60% chance of losing no capital, but a 32% chance of gaining 3 risk to reward. It is an absolutely huge edge over the market, regardless of what people think about win rate and what social media pushes nowadays. I'll be honest with you guys, at least when I was learning, I would much rather see a set of 6,000 trades of data, proving a profitable edge with over 32% win rate, compared to back when I was learning, so many mentors throwing win rate numbers out there with no sets of data like this. So do with that information what you will. Now going back here, we'll scroll down a bit. There's just some trade examples here that we have embedded in the document. And then a little bit lower, just some takeaways for you guys to learn from. But last but not least, let's take a dive here into my live trading journal for the year of 2025, and we'll take a look at it. Now, when we talked about that overall win rate being right around 57 to 60%, I landed right in that spot this year at about 59% win rate. And this does include that break-even value we talked about. I had 98 wins and 67 losses for an overall gain of 113%, utilizing 2% risk for the whole year, minus these first 2 trades of the year. My RR in total was 60, which is absolutely huge. Now, I do find that there was a big discrepancy here. I use a regulated trading broker. My trading conditions are a lot more favorable than some of my students who are using firms and some unregulated brokers for higher leverage. So keep that in mind. I do think a lot of the reason I got a significant amount of RR this year was simply due to my trading conditions with a great regulated broker. I use Forex.com. There's only 4 or 5 regulated brokers in the United States where I'm from, but I highly recommend for people watching, start a personal account with a regulated broker in your region, and you will have that peace of mind knowing that you are trading in some of the better conditions you can have regarding swap, spread, slippage, and other variables. Now, if we come into this section here and we delete the equal sign, you could see I actually had a really high win rate, which is about 38%, not including those break-even trades, which honestly is higher than a lot of my testing data. Now, look, to be completely honest with you guys, I went on so many trips this year. 2025 was probably one of the most traveled years I've had. And there's pretty significant breaks month to month. And you can tell in my data, a week off in March I had here. I had a good trip in April for about a week and a half. My girlfriend and I visited Florida in early July for her birthday. I also went away to a beach house in the beginning of August, so I have had a busy year, and that's for sure. But I do want to point this out because I've definitely had a lower repetition this year in trades compared to previous years. And that lower repetition, just probabilistically speaking, could be part of the reason my win rate was a little bit higher. Maybe I got lucky and missed out on some strong losing streaks because of being away so much. But keep in mind, next year I could be missing the winning streak, so it really does come down to probability at the end of the day. But I did land at roughly 165 trades at the end of the year, which is a little bit lower than I've seen in testing, which shows to be about 180 to 200 for my personal style. Nonetheless, absolutely killed it. I've had probably one of my best trading years to date, not specifically because of the percent gain, but just how comfortable I was trading this year. I finally feel like I'm at that mental comfort point where I can go away as much as I want. I can take a week or 2 away from the charts and really enjoy that time without worrying if I'm missing winning trades or really good periods in the market. I let my data and my probabilities do its thing. I can travel, I can trade passively, and I can run my other businesses while trading this strategy. I think that is absolutely key here, and honestly one of the best parts of trading the 4-hour time frame. So I am super excited with how 2025 ended. And the Simple Markets team and I have a ton of huge plans coming in for 2026. We are making some big changes to our platform, what we offer, working on revamping our website, providing new and insightful education to our community, and honestly, our community growing every single day with new funded members and payouts. Hope everybody is excited for 2026 as I am. I hope you guys take that initiative and make this year different than last. If you did not see the success you wanted in 2025, I highly recommend being truthful and accountable with yourself and making those changes that are needed this year or taking a different approach. Do not do the same thing that led 2025 to be a rough year for you. Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result is literally the definition of insanity. Please, guys, take care of yourselves. Be smart with how you approach next year. Write down your goals. Hope you guys enjoyed the content I put out today. Thank you all for watching and good luck in 2026.